and gentlemen, up next, we've got an incredible keynote at the World Esports and Gaming Summit, which is going to be on the topic, an academic approach to esports. Well, we're elated to be joined by the Honorary Gerald Solomon, the founder and executive director, WWSEF and NASEF. Well, in 2018, Mr. Solomon designed and launched the North America Scholastic Esports Federation, which is NASEF, the nation's first ever academic approach to esports, whose mission is to provide opportunities for all students to use esports as a platform to acquire the skills needed in the workforce of tomorrow. While taking STEM to the next level, NASEF is based upon a credential state of CA approved high school CTE and a middle school curricula. In 24 short months, NASEF is now in 48 states with over 18,000 students in over 1,600 clubs, as well as developing affiliates in Japan, Mexico, Israel, the UK, France, Nigeria, South Korea, India, and South Africa, with expansion continuing globally. So with this, I'd now like to take the honor of welcoming on the stage and screen Gerald Solomon to join us. Thank you so much, Gerald, for your valuable time today.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And as my predecessor said, Vlad, esports is a sport. And what I'm going to share with you today is you can actually use it as a vehicle to learn and grow and thrive. That's the topic of the conversation today. I'll be talking about NASEF, and I'll be sharing some slides, as you can see, and also some videos to give you some information about the work that we do. So what I would like to be able to do is go ahead and share with you a little bit about me and a little bit about the background of how we got here. I was fortunate enough for 13 years to run a very large family foundation known as the Samueli Foundation in Orange County, California, focused on youth development and STEM education. And as we were doing all of our philanthropy, the one thing we began to realize was that as much as we were having impact, we weren't reaching the kids we really wanted to reach, the socially disengaged, the socially economically challenged, kids of color, kids of different gender preferences. And we wanted to give them the same opportunity that others had. So I stumbled onto this concept called esports and gaming. And what we ended up doing is building upon something that we had done for 10 years. We built something called the STEM ecosystems around the country and around the world, where we funded 89 communities to ensure that students had STEM skills, that systems could teach STEM, and that you could create articulated pipelines for workforce. And we use that as the framework together with the philosophy that is at the core of our work. And I think it's something that all of us can agree on, and that is, how do we help a child find their purpose and meaning in life? How do we help them find what they love and they enjoy doing, their passion, their mission, everything that they're good at and they can get paid for, and something that the community really needs in what they do? So that's really the core of what it is. I'm going to share with you some videos. I want you to see what academic and scholastic esports actually looks like and sounds like. This is one of our big international projects. Pretty neat stuff. Basically, what that was taking Minecraft, building a world around farming, agriculture, biotechnology, using coding, building teams, and we launched it this past spring all around the world. With the help of the State Department in the US, we were able to actually go into 41 countries in over 2,000 schools in order to be able to make this effective in the work that we do and how we reach kids. Let me share with you also a story of what it's like in one of our NASEF clubs so you could see the energy of how you can connect play and esports with learning.
My teacher got word that there was going to be an esports club, and they told me, "Want to do it?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure." He jumped on, and when he told us about the esports club, what we started to do very quickly, we got onto NASEF, and you guys have a list of all the colleges that are in the program. So we immediately started emailing all the colleges there, sending emails, "Hey, if you guys have any promotional stuff, any material, any shirts, anything you can tell us about your colleges and any scholarships dealing with esports, could you please send us that material?" And then we had all those colleges respond, and they would mail us stuff. So we have a big wall with all the flags of the colleges. So when the kids come and we talk to the parents, we can not only tell them how it's going to help them in school and how it's not like traditional sports, but we can also show them these are the scholarships, these are the real world opportunities that your son or daughter will be getting if they join our club. My favorite thing about esports club is the diversity. When you look at that door, you don't know who's going to come through. It's kids of all ages, all sizes, all colors, and we try our best, me and my fellow officers, to make the club a safe environment. You know, no bullying. We want that place to feel like a second home to the kids who come, just play games with their friends and enjoy. And it's such a diversity, you know, you see the quiet kids you see around school that you would never think you'd talk to, you see them there, and then you start playing with them, you get to know them better, and you figure out, you know, they're actually cool people, they're just very shy. So I think it's very great that the club is very diverse, and just everyone's there. It's not just one group. I don't have much time to really play, as I have 2 AP classes, I'm doing dual enrollment, I have 4 honors classes. I got stuff to worry about in school, so I don't really have time to go home and practice to hone my skills in a certain game to then play and compete. But at home, after I do my homework, I'll get on my laptop and I'll log into the NASEF portal and I'll check to make sure, you know, who's registered, who's not, what tournaments we got coming up. I'll log into the Discord. I'll see what announcements we have sent, what announcements we still have to send. I'll email, I'll text my vice president and my secretary, "Hey, we got to get this done. Remember, we have these deadlines." We're actually orchestrating a tournament in our school. So we're buying tickets now, we're making flyers, we're mass printing them so we can put them all around the school, walking around personally asking teachers, "Hey, can we put flyers on your door, please, for the tournament?" So we're setting all that up now, so at our school, you know, we can have a big tournament.
That's an example of what it's like for a student that is more than just the play itself. It's incorporating in the concept of a scholastic component. For those of us who are in education, or for those of us who may know some of the terminology, we've heard of things like Lego education and Fab Lab and robotics and science fairs and maker and tinkering and the like. That's called project-based learning or immersive experiential hands-on activity. And we know that students learn best that way. What NASEF has created is very simple: project-based learning through the lens of esports in a virtual world. We meet children where they are. We talk their language. We work with them in a way that makes sense. We expose them to all of the hundreds of schools in the United States and now growing around the world that offer scholarships for esports and esports related programming curriculum, all for one purpose: to give kids the opportunity to thrive and grow and build skills and become aware. Because when you look at esports, it's not just the player. It's the shoutcaster, it's the streamer, it's the data analytic person, it's the event manager, it's the person who builds the website, it's the person who put together the computers, et cetera. All through the lens of esports, you can expose kids through what they enjoy into opportunities for themselves. What we call scholastic esports is the intentional use of esports as a vehicle for learning. And that's how we have been successful in the work that we do. This is our work. This is the slide of who we are. We built a curriculum. When I was with the foundation, we gave a grant to Orange County Department of Ed teachers, University of California teachers, and built an entire 4-year high school curriculum, a CTE track curriculum, and middle school curriculum. Received approval from the Department of Education in California, and we are literally the only entity in the world that has a full Department of Ed curriculum for all of that, tied to all of the learning standards, at least in the United States, that exists. What's important about this slide, besides knowing that there's curriculum for all those pieces, is that that infographic on the right, that bubble chart, actually represents how we hold our competitions. In most competitions, students get together and they play, and you watch them playing on the computer. In our competitions, that occurs, but you also have students demonstrating and showing the artifacts of their learning through esports. So the people who built the website, the people who did the fandom art, the people who did the marketing, the people who put together the event, the people who did the data analytics at the end of the game so the team can play better, the blogging, the coaching, all of the activities are also demonstrated so that when a parent comes in or an educator comes in or other colleagues come in, they can go, wow, this is more than just playing on a computer. There is actual learning and demonstrated skill sets that are being developed through the lens of esports and what you do. We also have an entire component built by educators at the University of California around health and wellness. We know that these are difficult and challenging times for youth. How do they examine in a safe way their feelings, their world, their relationships? We have an entire array of curriculum around how do you eat well, how do you sleep better, how do you take care of yourself through physical exercise, knowing that one, you're going to play better in your game and in the competition, but you'll also be better as a human being as a result of what that is. So we bring all of that in. This is what our curriculum looks like. Everything, we have over 1,000 pages of tools, instruments, toolkits, scope and sequence lesson plans, color-coded to standards, showing all of the work, all of the programs, all of the modules, so that any educator can sprinkle in gaming and esports into their classroom. They don't need to know a lot about esports or necessarily a lot about the curriculum. We have built that for in-school and after-school programs. Basically, what we have done is we create community, which is so important today. And we do it through this concept of a club, and we infuse curriculum and learning through that. As alluded to, we have grown significantly over the last couple of years. And how do we know that it works? That's always a question that people ask us. How do you know that what you're doing is really of any value? Well, part of what we've done is we have gone ahead and we've given a grant to Dr. Steinkueler at the University of California. She was once the director of the Office of Science, Technology, and Policy at the White House under the Obama administration. And let's take a minute and hear from her about the value of esports.
My name is Constance Steinkueler. I'm a full professor here in informatics and I study games. My expertise is on social interaction and cognition. My game of choice tends to be player versus player, kind of online games. I'm really interested in all of the social interaction and social sort of collaboration and competition that happens in games and then around the games. And we have a lot of different faculty here who are actually working on game-related topics. The connection between esports and STEM, between esports and academics generally. Gaming is a very cerebral and smart kind of activity. In their game spaces, they're doing like really high-end theory crafting, they're doing data science. It's a ton of delayed gratification. If you're gonna get good at any of the games, it takes a lot of work, it takes hours of discipline, of play. And so the idea that they're kind of barren intellectually is sort of a foolish idea the moment you pick up a title. It takes screen time and it turns it into activity time. In today's kind of climate, we really underestimate how important it is just to play and to do things because they're interesting and fun. It's actually an important part of development.
It's always good to hear from other than the talking head who's in front of the screen in a session like this. So part of what Dr. Steinkueler did is she assessed over 3,000 students, over 1,700 teachers over a period of 3 years to find not so much just esports, but our approach to esports and the nexus and connection to things like scientific reasoning, data analytics, problem solving, attendance to structure and regularity. And that has become so important because when you chart out the impact that it's had around science and math and language and arts and social emotional learning, there are significant uptakes and improvements in students when you look at it through a strategic lens of an academic approach and curriculum. And there's a huge piece in here that was really important to us, And that is that the evidence demonstrated that those that benefited the most were those that had the greatest need. Those that may have had a single parent household, didn't have excess resources to do tutoring or do extracurricular activities. So it really equaled the playing field for so many different people. So what's the tool? What's the solution? How does it work? It's really the club. Imagine for a second building a community in a school or an after-school program or a library. Kids get together, they become officers, they have a charter, they have a pledge. We have templates for all of that. In a normal club, you might see just a secretary, a president, treasurer, et cetera. In our program through esports, there's someone who runs event management, someone who runs shoutcasting, someone who runs web development, someone who runs social media, someone who runs marketing, et cetera. There's a place for everyone. And part of what we do is we give them toolkits so they can move all of that forward and learn it. They're basically becoming entrepreneurs and innovators through play, through esports, in a way that's fun and engaging for them. And to elevate the education piece, in addition to the title that's played, we also hold contests around logo design, social media development, web development, logo development, all the different kinds of what we call the ecosystem of esports. And we elevate that up in a way so that everyone finds value in what that looks like. We also have developed this year, for the third year in a row, what we call our Scholastic Fellows program, where teachers from around the world come and learn about our curriculum to bring back to their communities. This year, we have 30 teachers who started in September from 11 countries around the world. So how do you start? How do you take this concept of academics and learning and infuse it into and with esports and gaming? We have a very successful process of 8 steps where we trained, we do, and please understand, this was all philanthropically developed. We are an NGO and a nonprofit. Our curriculum is 100% free to any school anywhere in the world. And we will provide orientation and training to do this because we believe that education is a fundamental right and everyone should have the opportunity. And if this is a vehicle that helps a student to get there, then let's take advantage of that and see how it works. We have really grown internationally, as was alluded to earlier. We have now 157 schools in Japan. We have over 100 schools in the UK. We had a project in the middle of COVID with the State Department and the Mexico public school system in Mexico City. Is an example of what we did is we helped them build a competition where students went into Minecraft and they build the COVID-19 virus, they built the COVID home, and they built the COVID hospital that they would want to be treated in. We had over 3,000 students that participated in that competition alone. We've taken a concept called Rube Goldberg, big in the United States around engineering and engineering design, and brought it out to 21 countries this past year. I showed you the initial video on Farmcraft and what that looked like. We actually created a competition with Epic and Epic Games, not around competition in the traditional game, but using their engine of Unreal and Unreal Engine to build PSAs around climate change and education around the like. My prior speaker, Vlad, I have the honor and privilege of chairing their Esports Education Commission globally, bringing this work around the world in what we do. Let me conclude with one last little video of what kind of impact it has and what it means to be part of a esports program that brings in academics.
Hi, I'm Sophia Anschutz. I'm from Terra Environmental Research Institute. I'm a senior. I want to go into engineering and mechanical and focus on a little bit of environmental. And what this club has done for me is it has given me the skills of management, business, responsibility, and it's allowed me to meet a bunch of people and to be a part of something bigger for the high school experience, and it's been great.
That really speaks for itself. So if you want to get involved, you can go to the website. You can look at nasef.org, click on where it says sign up. And again, as a reminder, this is 100% free to every school, private or public, every after-school program. And we will provide the orientation, the tools, and the curriculum to help you take advantage of where kids are today to give all individuals the opportunity to thrive and grow. So with that, I say thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and attention you've given me, and to the organization here for allowing me the opportunity to share a different and unique approach to esports and gaming with a scholastic lens. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, Gerald, and we couldn't have had anyone better in this aspect to put forth your views and the future ahead and all you've got planned. So thank you once again, Gerald, for joining us today.